Say goodbye to Jeremiah and say hello to a bunch of Indians living on the ranch, making the rules and taking over. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. Here to review Fear the Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 9. It's the first episode since the pre-season finale. Or the mid-season finale, not pre-season.
It's the last thing this show needs, more episodes.
Yeah, it's the last thing this show needs. It's the aftermath of Jeremiah no longer being with us, and the ranch at this point is just completely taken over. We're told about the founding fathers, we're told about how they're so important to the ranch, and within 3 or 4 episodes, they've all been wiped out. Had all the Indians brought in, and it's not like the Indians are just happy to be there and be equals. No, Walker has pretty much taken over the entire thing. Is almost like the Indians are the first-class citizens of the yard, of the ranch, with all the guns, with access to the food and whatnot, and then the white people, or Otto's people, or whatever, are just basically prisoners, basically slaves, basically just have to be second-class citizens on their own fucking ranch. And was this worth it? Was this worth Jeremiah getting killed? I didn't even know this was part of the deal. I thought Walker, and I know you could argue it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I thought Walker was content allowing Madison and the rest of the group to actually still stay on the ranch and be in control of the ranch as long as Jeremiah wasn't alive. I didn't realise the deal was going to be, you kill Jeremiah and we move in.
Yeah, I didn't know that was part of the deal. I don't understand.
What a fucking shite deal. And that deal quickly turns into, you kill Jeremiah, you let us move in, and then you let us take over. Would this have happened in Season 3 of The Walking Dead? Look how many times these two groups have went and attacked each other. Look how much blood has... And who's spilt the blood this season? Has it been Jeremiah, or has it been Madison? But for some reason, Walker respects Madison and trusts Madison and wants Madison to be safe and wants her to have a fair chance at living. But Jeremiah, who his fucking the only goal he had was to keep the ranch to his own fucking family because they owned it. He's the bad guy. He must go. Doesn't make any sense to me. This would be if you look at how many times these two factions have interacted, this would be probably the equivalent of, like, I would even go as far as saying like Season 4, Too Far Gone, when the governor's outside the prison, and I know Rick makes an attempt to bring him in, but I mean, that was never going to work, right?
He was blinded by his love to Herschel,
and he had no fucking choice. Plus, a lot of time had died down since what happened in Season 3. But let's say in Season 3, see when the governor's crew turns up to go infiltrate the prison in the finale. This is like Rick coming out and saying, "Oh no, it's okay, no more fighting. Me and you can't live together, Governor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill myself, or I'll have Daryl kill me. I'm going to move your people in, and then the governor's people, Woodbury, take all the guns for the prison group, and the prison group are allowed to stay there, but they're not allowed to defend themselves. They're not allowed to have weapons. They're not allowed to make any decisions. They're basically just slaves and hostages." That would never fucking happen. So why is it happening on this show?
Yeah, I don't get why it's happening in this show, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why is Jeremiah portrayed as the bad guy? Old white man. That's probably why. But, like, Jake, like, Troy is kind of, sees Madison, as like a weird mother figure, so I'm not really too bothered by him. But, like, why is no one holding resentment towards the Clarks in this community? It was all initially at the start when they first came. They fucking turned this place upside down, killed the leader, killed pretty much every founding father, whether it be indirectly or
because we did
directly.
We did see that in the original Walking Dead. It would be like wherever the group went, the people in those specific groups would like kind of hold animosity towards them. At first, it was kind of like Herschel, get off my farm. He wasn't too happy about them. He thought that they were ruining things. Then it was more Alexandria, when there was a few Alexandrians that weren't happy with Rick's group and they thought that them arriving turned the whole thing into chaos. But the Clarks don't seem to have that same sort of impact here for some reason. The most hated the Clarks were probably their first fucking day on the ranch when the people had no real reason to hate them.
Yeah.
But as soon as Madison starts doing shit to put people in jeopardy, they've no issue with it.
It's bewildering.
But when they first turned up and they were just looking to be taken in and given, like, you know, some shelter and support, that's when people seem to have an issue with them. Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. But let's take away from the ranch. Let's go to the water pump place. Ho ho! The hydro, and it's not the arena in Glasgow. It's some shitty fucking dam in Tijuana. Nothing happened here, so let's just move on because a couple of rocks got through, and Daniel ushered her into.
That was literally it. A couple of rocks go through at that woman. Daniel tried to protect her as if it was the fucking president or something like this.
Get down, Mr. President!
And he throws her into a truck and they drive off. Why does Daniel care so much about this woman? I don't get it. Because this is the woman that he wouldn't throw off the building. Yeah, he was quite happy to throw off the other guy who helped him. He was quite happy to torture the other dude who saved his life.
Scumbag Daniel.
Does Daniel have feelings for this woman?
I would almost go as far as saying this was the worst couple of scenes we've seen in this show so far. Because it added nothing, man. Nothing.
It offered nothing.
Like, it was fucking pointless. Like, if you've got nothing to show, don't show it. Why waste 10 minutes of an episode? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But
I noticed they've done that though with this whole waterfall, like the water supply place. If you're going to commit to it, I think it's one of those things where you either need to spend more time in this location with these characters, or you just don't spend any time. But having like one scene ain't going to do shit.
No.
You actually need to put time into it and try and make us care about these characters, and they just haven't done that. They're trying to maybe do like one scene an episode to make us remember that here, these people do exist. Problem is, we don't give a fuck if these people exist.
Yeah. But let's talk about the ranch becoming one with Walker's people. Jake gives him a key, and he's got a key. He's like, right, the only way we can open this armory is we're both here to open it. But Jake,
that's fair.
That is fair. Even though I don't think that Walker's people even being there is fair. But,
well, it's not, but at least Jake's reasonable.
Yeah, he's reasonable. He is recovering from the anthrax attack, which of course, I mean, I'm going to
caused by Walker.
I'm assuming it's just going to be a couple of days since, or maybe the next day or something, whatever. Yeah, I mean, bear in mind, like, Walker's tried to wipe out anyone who drunk the coffee, which could have literally been the whole group. Now, obviously, kids might not like coffee and shit like that, but it was a complete assault on the entire community. And we're supposed to fucking welcome them with open arms.
So it was a fucking massacre attempt.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a couple of the people aren't really happy with Walker's crew being there, which is fair enough. I think Walker's crew want access to everything. Troy's a little bit reluctant to give this up. But, what's his name?
Wait,
Troy's brother?
Jake.
Jake's like, nah, we have to do this. They're here now, so they get full supplies of food, and they get full access to all that stuff. Some fat kid, I think, who was friends with... Was he friends with the family that rode off?
I think he might have been. I think his name's Coop.
And he blames Walker for that. So he tries to kill one of Walker's people, but I think it was Jake. Was it Jake that managed to stop him?
Yeah, Jake managed to stop him. I think someone got shot in the process here, and this guy got battered.
But everybody lived. I say everybody lived. This guy got his neck kind of crushed. His throat was crushed, and
so he can't really breathe right anymore.
And apparently he won't survive. So now that should have been enough, since he was the guy that done it. But no, Walker says someone put him up to it, and because of this one kid's actions, and the guy must be like fucking 16, 17. Because of this one kid actions, now Walker wants complete control of the ranch. He wants to be the leader. He wants all the guns. He wants access to all the guns. He wants to deny all the white people access from the guns. He wants a complete takeover where it's no longer a 50-50 thing, and he is in charge simply just because of what this kid did. Now, if it was one of Walker's people that attacked somebody and Troy tried to make this move, would Walker be okay with it? Would Walker be like, oh, I sure, you take all our weapons and we'll just be here prisoners?
Yeah, I mean, he demands a second key like a jabroni. And then, look, Jake
gives him it?
Well, no, initially he refused. And then Madison's like, no, you should give him the key, Jake. And Jake's like, it's alright, Madison, sure, you've just fucked this entire place up since you came.
Why is Madison getting the decisions here? Why is she fucking determining who gets what keys?
See, when Walker points out, someone put him up to it, who's that going to be? It's obviously he thinks it's Troy. Why not take it out on Troy? Why not go to Troy about it? No, let's punish the whole fucking community that you tried to make peace with. Honestly, I do not see how this season's going to go with just this constant Are the white ranchers just going to leave, or is Walker's
going to get driven out?
or is Walker's people just going to kill them all till there's no one left?
I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but they go around all the houses, they collect all the weapons. Literally, anyone who's white has to have their weapon taken off them, but if you're Indian or whatnot, you can keep your weapon. They then go to Troy's house, and Troy, rightfully so, isn't interested in handing over his weapon.
My Second Amendment, boy. I'm not giving it up. Fuck you, Walker.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. They want to come in. Nick is trying to reason with him, and then it looks like we're going to get into like an altercation, a shootout, and Nick manages to throw himself at Troy and lock himself in the room with Troy. He's trying to talk him down, but Troy's not being talked down, and Troy basically tells him, if you want my gun, you're going to have to come and fucking take it.
Yeah, you're going to have to come and take his gun. I mean, let's be real, this results in a few casualties for Walker's men.
Yeah, Walker's basically at this point, it's like, right, well, let's just kill him.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me, so he kills a few guys, right? Oh, shoot out. Nick's trying to talk him out of it. He finally does by revealing that he's the one that killed Jeremiah. Troy looks at him, puts the gun down.
Troy also saved him.
Yeah.
One of the Indians was going to kill Nick, and Troy put his hand in the way and took the knife instead of...
This is my problem, though, right? Troy has killed people after the treaty, or whatever you want to call it. Treaty of Versailles, circa 1919. And he's just willing to let Troy leave. Like, yes, he's banishing him from the ranch, but hold on, he just took the guns off pretty much every resident who didn't do anything apart from the fat kid, and the guy that actually just killed like 4 or 5 of his men is able to walk. Where's the punishment there? Obviously, plot purposes, you can't kill Troy. He's like one of the main guys on this ranch.
Nick, who was trying to save things, has to do some sort of punishment.
Yeah, in the box, From style. Sounds like Nick's got it worse off. Yes, he in exile, but he could die in the box.
And Jake's just like, fair enough.
Probably gets kicked out. Well,
and that's supposedly the last time Jake's going to see Troy. And no one's kicking up a fuss. Troy just gets kicked out. Madison and somehow an Indian take him. Don't know where they're going to take him to, but they drive him off the land. So it was first they get Jeremiah killed. Now they get Troy off the land. Is Jake sitting there really thinking that he's going to be allowed to stay here?
Yeah, he must think.
It's only a matter of time before there's a disagreement between a white person and an Indian person, and maybe it leads to a little bit of physicality, and the same thing's going to happen again.
This is the same
and
thing.
What can Jake do? Like, let's say Walker decides a punishment. Let's say something happens and Walker goes, here's the punishment. Is Jake going to be like, no, I've got my gun on me, that's not the punishment?
This is the same.
Whatever Walker says now has to go.
This is the same delusional bastard, though, that thought he could walk 10 miles to Walker after everything had been done and be like, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so they try and cut Troy loose. One of Walker's men's in the back. Troy asks him, are you a lefty? And the guy says, no, I'm a righty. And he's like...
I'm willing to bet money he's a lefty, though.
It's like, good, I'm a lefty. And then he sees the knife that the guy's cutting his rope with, so Troy slams his hand into the knife effectively, so the guy can't use it. And then it manages to attack him, and I think he stabs him a few times as well, kills him. Madison then holds Troy at gunpoint, tells him just to leave, no more killing. Troy's like, no. Madison doesn't want to do it. Says, don't make me kill you, and then Troy basically decides, okay, I won't do it, and he fucks off, and that was it.
But see, what's Walker's reaction going to be to this? Is this going to, he's just killing...
Madison going to have punishment now?
Yeah, is she going to get thrown in the box with her son?
We'll see what happens.
Son bonding time in the box, who knows?
I've got a feeling this is the end of Troy until season 8, which would fucking suck.
No, I don't think it is.
I think it is.
I've seen a clip of him in a train, and I think that's the end of him till season 8, but I don't know when that is. Either way, right, I just think this sucks. I did not get this agreement. I get it. Jake and Troy are like the leaders, but before this happened with Troy, but like, why is no one else in the community voiced their opinion about why are these people all moving in?
Do you think Walker...
If that founding father guy wanted to leave now, that would make total sense. But he fucking bottled it and left. Troy was right, killing him and his family.
Do you think...
Libtards.
Is Walker being portrayed as a antagonist or a protagonist right now?
Honestly, I would say he's being portrayed now as a protagonist, but with Troy gone, he must be the guy that becomes the antagonist.
Yeah, he must be. I'm going to assume, because Troy was the only guy that was offering any sort of resistance, so I'm going to assume now that we're going to see Walker and his people truly try and take over and just basically lay the law down and have the authority over everyone else. But I mean, that was it was an okay episode. I mean, season 3's not bad. I'm not going to say but it's just a bit dumb at times. It's very dumb.
It's incredibly dumb, but there's a lot there, and I think if they changed a few things about and made it make a bit more sense and spaced things out, it could very easily be a really good season. But it's not. So until next time, guys. 5 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 6.
All right, 5.5 then. 5.5 out of 10.